The SwitchBot K10 Pro Combo is a funny hybrid kind of robot vacuum consisting of a comparatively tiny floor robot, small stick vacuum and a smart charging empty station. It sort of does mopping too, but only in the sense that you can attach a wet wipe to the base. The base station is strictly for charging and emptying the dustbins of both the RoboVac and the stick vac, so there's no water reservoir in there or anything fancy like that. It's also one of the first true Matter-compatible robot vacuums, which means it has full support for the specification and isn't just a simple on-off toggle. More on that later. The problem is that in trying to do so many things, it doesn't really excel at any of them. It's not a bad device by any means, but the compact nature of the RoboVac means it won't be suitable for large apartments, lots of pet hair or heavy-duty use. Arguably, the stick vacuum is the most impressive part of this combo, but is that admitting or embracing the inherent limitations of the robot vacuum? I'm James Bruce and you're watching MatterAlpha.com reviews. Join me as I take a deep dive and long-term test of the SwitchBot K10 Pro Combo. So let's talk about the most important aspect first, performance. And we'll start with the robot vacuum part of the equation. So anecdotally, the RoboVac just didn't feel up to the job. It does an acceptable job and it can handle a daily light cleaning, but it seemed to miss bits that I would have expected it to pick up, especially with the quoted 3000 PA suction power. I mean, it's full. It's done the outside of the kitchen and it's full. So I don't think 60 minutes of cleaning before you empty is going to cut it.
Dustbin reinstalled.
It's just so tiny. It does a decent enough job of mapping an area, and it's adept at fitting in tighter spaces like in between chairs and up against corners and walls, things where larger robots wouldn't be able to go. But it doesn't have any advanced AI detection, and I had frequent issues with it not being able to find its way home. But that could have just been the nature of my kitchen, constantly changing with boxes of review products. That said, it's not an issue that I've had before. On the other hand, I've not had a portable stick vacuum before. I've always used a sort of combination of full upright monster and large robot vacuums, but this being always ready when needed and automatically emptied into the same base station is just really convenient. It has 4 different heads and an extension tube to tackle a variety of surfaces, and I especially like the one designed for soft bedding, so it has a hard head here. Our dogs sleep on the bed with us, they have a blanket, and this did a great job of just doing a quick sort of daily clean of that or of the sofa. In contrast to the RoboVac, this has up to 20,000 PA suction power, though you do have to turn on boost mode from one of the 2 control buttons here to get to that. The floor vacuum head is especially impressive due to the inclusion of a spinning beta bar and a green light which shines out and highlights any bits on the floor really easily, as well as this sort of rotating neck that allows it to fit into really tight places. So this stick vacuum definitely fills a need around the home that I didn't actually know I had. In terms of smart features, the K10 Pro Combo doesn't have anything we haven't seen before in the last few years on other models. It's still impressive, don't get me wrong, but I can't point to any one major feature and say, oh, this is new. That means it maps your home using LiDAR, it navigates pretty intelligently, and it can be virtually restricted to specific rooms or areas, so you can specify parts that don't have a carpet and do, that sort of thing, as well as setting basic no-go zones or virtual barriers. It can be scheduled, and the auto empty times can be adjusted if, for instance, you're running it at night and the actual emptying part is really loud. You don't want that going on at night, so you can schedule that for the day instead. Pretty much every aspect of it is highly customizable. In addition, as of April 2025, the K10 Pro is officially supported by Matter with full specs implemented, not just an on-off button. And this doesn't require a SwitchBot hub as it did previously. It's directly from the device itself using Matter over Wi-Fi. So via Matter and your smart home platform of choice, assuming it supports the full level of sort of vacuum specifications, because of course it's a two-way equation here. You need both the vacuum and your platform to support each other. Assuming it is all up to date, you'll be able to command the K10 Plus Pro to start just vacuuming, start vacuum and mopping, change the suction power, or head home to the dock. However, the mopping isn't automatic. You need to attach the mop head and a wet wipe. So I question the utility of that mop or don't mop distinction over matter, in this case anyway. You can also play a sound to locate your vacuum. That said, you'll still need the SwitchBot app to set all of that up anyway, as well as if you want to restrict the area it's working on, remote control it, create the maps to start with, or adjust any of the settings like automated schedules. Though I suppose technically you could also set up a scheduled clean within Matter. Suffice to say, it's a little bit confusing to have a sort of overlap of functionality like that. By being a one-size-fits-all protocol, Matter does have inherent limitations of not being able to support anything beyond the basics, and that's always going to be true, because why would a manufacturer choose to just not invent new features that can differentiate them even if they're not supported by Matter? In terms of mopping performance, it's basically just dragging a wet wipe around your floor, so you can probably get some idea of how effective that will be. It doesn't have spinning wet mop heads that then go to the base station, clean themselves and empty the water tank. It's just a wet wipe. Now, everything I've said about smart features is related to the RoboVac portion of the K10 Plus Pro Combo. Of course, the stick vacuum doesn't have specific smart features. It's just really simple to use. And when you stick it into the base station, it will automatically empty itself into here. One thing that's quite frustrating for me is the replacement bags, which is a kind of subscription without being a subscription. So they currently cost £20 plus £5 delivery for 4 bags, or about $10 each. Ours ended up being filled in about a month, so that's essentially a £75 or $100 a year subscription just to use the thing. Apparently they should last over 2 months each, but clearly we're dirtier than average people because ours only lasted a month. The issue is that these bags are specific to the K10 Plus Combo model in that they have 2 holes here. So I can find hundreds of cheaper generic options for the basic K10 Plus model, but not the Combo. And it's a crucial difference because one has 1 hole and one has 2 holes. So they are different, and do be careful when shopping for bags. And this bag's nearly full too, and that's only been about a month. Now, hopefully there'll be some cheaper generic options soon, because frankly, £25 for 4 replacement bags is kind of outrageous. Should you buy the K10 Plus Pro Combo? Whilst I'm a little bit disappointed in the overall performance of the robot vacuum side of things, the package as a whole is a strong one and much more useful than a robot vacuum alone. It's all integrated neatly with Matter support and all the smart features you'd expect on a mid-range model. It seems ideally suited as a secondary robot vacuum in your home. Not one that you would have in the main living area, but something you might set up in the corridor that can do a quick daily clean, and you can have easy access to grab that stick vacuum and use it wherever you need. You can work around performance limitations of the RoboVac by simply running it more often, of course. Instead of activating it when things look a bit too messy, a daily schedule works best. At least it would for me if the dog didn't vehemently believe that this robot vacuum was the devil incarnate. Perfect. In truth, I found the upright vacuum stick to be a fantastic addition to the house. It's incredibly convenient and surprisingly powerful, able to do stairs and small spaces effectively without having to grab the massive sort of regular shop vacuum or upright vacuum. The adaptable head with front lighting is great for tight spaces that might otherwise not get much cleaning love, and the fabric head is perfect for anyone with pets. So overall, the SwitchBot K10 Plus Pro Combo is an interesting set that allows it to tackle more daily cleaning tasks than your average RoboVac. Though it might not be suitable for really large spaces that want the most powerful RoboVac possible, this isn't that. I'm James Bruce, you've been watching MatterAlpha.com. Hit like if this review helped you to know more about the K10 Plus Pro Combo, and consider subscribing for more. Also, head on over to MatterAlpha.com to stay abreast of all the latest Matter news, and check out our database of every Matter certified product available. Until next time.
Please
put me back on the floor.
Okay.